So what do you do if you notice that your young person is struggling with body image, particularly in the social media environment as a parent? So it can help to talk with your child and help them to reflect on their own social media use and whether they are being negatively affected by their social media use in terms of their body image. And if they are experiencing negative effects, trying to encourage them to identify actions that they can take to improve their well-being and body image online can be helpful. One thing that can be helpful is to encourage your child to be selective in terms of what they consume on social media. So this can include trying to avoid or unfollow unhelpful content or accounts. It can involve limiting time spent online, avoiding the explore pages, or even taking a social media break. So it can be helpful to identify when and if it might be helpful for your young person to step back from social media and give themselves a break before re-engaging. However, avoiding appearance-focused content or kind of not looking altogether isn't the solution, because it's really hard to avoid all forms of appearance-focused content. So it can be helpful to encourage your child to be active and conscious in the decisions they make when they're using social media. For example, curating diverse news feeds. Some find that having diverse different body types on their social media feeds can increase body appreciation. Others find that following body positive accounts or #BOPO can also improve and promote body image. So if this is something that you think might be helpful for your child, they could consider this. Also, it can be helpful to kind of have variety in the genre of appearance-focused content, or the genre of content consumed online, such that it's not all appearance-focused, and this can kind of create value in other aspects of the young person's identity. Added to this, it can be helpful to encourage parents to, or encourage young people to process content that they encounter online in more self-protective ways. One way to achieve this is to encourage your child to be aware of the critical thoughts that they might experience when they use social media, particularly from the comparisons they make online, and encourage them to reframe those critical thoughts in a more self-compassionate way. So when we engage with social media, oftentimes we engage in appearance comparisons, and these can activate this inner critical dialogue or inner critic. And this inner critic can tell us that it can highlight our flaws in comparison with others. It can make us feel like we're not good enough. And so if you can bring some mindfulness to the presence of this inner critic and identify when those critical thoughts are coming up, and then kind of applying this kind of awareness that these are just thoughts and that they're not the objective truth, and then using self-compassion to speak to oneself more kindly to reframe these critical thoughts. So self-compassion involves speaking to yourself in a non-judgmental, kind, empathetic way. And we can think of it as like speaking to your friend. So if your child is experiencing these critical thoughts online, can you encourage them to think about what they would say to a friend if their friend was going through something similar, and can they apply that to themselves? Social media is a central part of young people's lives, and it can be a really enriching and a great space for development for young people. But for some, it can magnify the appearance pressures that they experience. And so if your child is struggling online, the key things that they can do to try and help themselves in this space is avoid or unfollow unhelpful content, perhaps limit time, but also trying to create and curate a newsfeed that is promotive to their well-being, and also when they encouraging them to kind of be aware of when critical or harsh thoughts arise, and identifying whether they can, or trying to help them to shift that dialogue or inner dialogue with themselves to one that is more kind and compassionate in order to help foster body image, healthy body image. So it's important to remember that both boys and girls can be affected by body image concerns. Indeed, there's been a greater recognition of body image concerns among boys, and there's been a rise in the body image concerns that are experienced by boys in more recent years. And this has been in part attributed to social media, in that it creates a greater focus on male body image appearance and the fitness culture as well. So recent research suggests that boys may be even affected at a similar or equivocal level as girls in terms of body image. And so this suggests that it's really important that we consider boys' body image and try and dispel the stigma that surrounds male body image, particularly because it can stop or hinder boys from reaching out for help or support when they do need it.